This is Cybert signing into Red Alert 3, but the mod General's Evolution on the map Frozen Pipeline in the north as the Red USA. This is SpamAlftF4. The guy who's always trying to convince his opponents to spam Alt F4. Meanwhile, in the south as the blue GLA, this is ENIGMA. After lots of generals being showcased, we now get just a Vanilla USA versus Vanilla GLA. And of course, one of these maps that always feels like Tournament Desert, even though this one at least has a little bit more of geographical breakup. You guys may remember this from Tib Wars and Kane's Wrath if you're more familiar with those, although I think there is a pipeline problems-like map in regular 0 hour or maybe generals. But two oil derricks in the corner, some observation posts there in the middle of the map, and a veteran... I didn't actually realize this was in General's Evolution, but a veteran academy over here. So I guess we may actually see that come into play. I'm not exactly sure. The observation post has been grabbed by Spam, and the Rock V versus Technical War has begun. Who will be the king of the early game? Will it be ENIGMA or will it be Spam? Either one of them could end up getting a bit of a lead, and the airfield is coming out pretty quickly from SpamAlftF4. So one thing that Gen Evo players have been realizing, especially the USA ones, is that aircraft are really good in this mod if you know how to use them. They're not totally unbeatable, but they can really, really help you control the map, and people have been really latching on to that idea. A couple of quad cannons here with these technicals. Pretty perfect kiting there by Spam, so he gets just close enough to kind of draw in a technical, and then reverse moves right out. And that's how you know that it's Gen Evo and not plain old 0 hour, because people actually build tanks in this mod. By the way, this is a mod for Red Alert 3, so you do need the base game Red Alert 3, which is available on Steam and Origin. Goes on sale usually a couple of times a year. You can pick it up for $5 or your equivalent. And then, of course, the Gen Evo mod is free to download. Technical does step forward and does go down. ENIGMA with that Veteran Academy. I think all of his units are spawning in with a single veterancy, and I don't know if that's actually going to play a part in this game, but it does definitely feel nice to have all of your units starting out as a veteran, being one step closer to elite and then heroic. And again, I'm not actually sure if that'll play a factor in this particular match, but it is certainly nice to have. Firebase in the back, a little bit worried about technical run-bys, it seems. And also, there are expansions in the corner where there would be blue Tiberium in the Tib versions of this map. Comanche heads out on the left side. I think Spam was expecting that there would be an expansion being deployed here that he could harass. It is not so. So the Comanche does turn and go for the harassment of the supply trucks in the main base. Also sees the Palace being deployed at the same time. An Avenger is here to help ward off some of those rockets, but I think most of the rockets are coming from the USA player to the GLA player. The RPG troopers didn't quite make it into the fight. Spam giving chase as he cleans up Scorpion after Scorpion. And the tank wars have begun, it seems. RPG troopers turning around. The Avengers zapping those rockets right out of the air. And let's go check on the Comanche in the south, making its way to the oil derricks in the corner. Did manage to clean up that one supply truck. Saw the Palace finishing up and is now going to turn its attention to that oil derrick, just causing a little bit of mayhem and a little bit of chaos for ENIGMA. And if Spam is going to continue the use of the Air Forces, I would definitely love to see him split something off, maybe even to the south side of this Veteran Academy so he doesn't have to deal with these buildings, but to deal with that Veteran Academy regardless. ENIGMA, definitely a weakness in his defense, is dealing with this Comanche. A couple of quad cannons heading their way back, but for now, this one Comanche has actually done a decent job of cutting down a number of those supply trucks. I thought he was going to get the third supply truck. He didn't get the Stinger sight either. An unfortunate change of target for Spam that led to him getting neither target. and the Comanche going down. But you can definitely understand his thought process there, as it looks like the defense from Enigma is going to be a little bit tighter. Definitely still some areas to exploit outside of the range of this Stinger site. Those oil derricks are always a potential target. And Enigma could be sort of biding his time, waiting to get up to some of those higher support powers where he can start coordinating attacks and maybe sneaking in rebels from someplace or another. Warthogs coming in, and they do find a chunk of the army. The rockets mostly miss the army, and the Warthogs mostly escape. Looks like 3 Scorpions going down there. Maybe an unfortunate hit there. And the Raptor comes in. Raptor cleans up 1 supply truck, but the Raptor immediately goes down, and the first Scud launcher is out. Enigma has been doing a pretty good job after that initial disruption of holding down the middle of the map. Another Raptor has spawned in, another Comanche as well. The air forces of Spam growing slowly, but his ground army doesn't need to be utilized, and it feels like he's using his air forces to keep a bit of pressure on his opponent so that his ground army can grow slowly unit by unit. The Avengers being added on is 5? Do you need 5 Avengers? I don't know. It feels like 5 Avengers might be plenty. I guess we'll see. 6 Avengers even, as 1 Avenger heads forward to ward off that rocket buggy. Scud launcher gets annihilated. A very nice snipe there by Spam. You can see the sort of thing that Enigma is thinking of. He's trying to get 1 step ahead, but that USA Air Force is really preventing Enigma from being able to get as far ahead as he would like. Another Raptor goes down. I think another Quad or a Scorpion did get eliminated. And Enigma getting a nice setup early on with these buildings, but he hasn't been able to capitalize on it because of that Air Force. Raptor comes forward. Enigma not learning his lesson. These undefended Scud launchers keep stepping forward, and then they just get sniped, and now he doesn't have another one on the way. His ground army a little bit thin compared to Spam. Spam living up to his name. Missile Defenders, Avengers, Crusaders, Sentries as well. The Robo-Tanks coming to the front line. Heroic status getting handed out to some of these GLA troops, but I think it's not quite going to be enough. SpamAlt pulls back. The Crusaders taking a bit of damage. A couple of, I almost said ambulances, but no, they are indeed mechanics. Another change there, a difference between Gen Evo and Gen 0 Hour is you have ambulances and mechanics. They look very similar, but of course mechanics repair. Another snipe of the Scud launchers, and that is just a very well planned out flight path there for SpamAlt. But mechanics and ambulances heal infantry, and mechanics heal vehicles, and so a little bit of a difference in unit roles created there by Gen Evo. Not sure if it's really a positive or a negative. That Raptor comes in, gets deleted immediately, but it crashes. The RNG is even on SpamAlft's side. And unfortunately for Enigma, that one was no fault of his. Actually, his good placement of units inside of this building actually helped ward off that Raptor from getting the kill. But the RNG still allowed the Raptor to crash into that Scud launcher. Expansions in the corner taken by Spam, but curiously not taken by Enigma. And Enigma just sticking with 1 supply truck. Most other players get 2 supply trucks, and I think 2 is the number. Yeah, I feel like... Wait, has Enigma just been rolling with essentially half income this entire time? A couple of RPG troopers, no, a couple of rebels managing to get a bit of a surprise in the corner of the map. They're going to try and hide out there in the corner. Enigma, this might give him an idea that he needs to set up his own expansion in the corner of the map. 1 supply truck does take a bit of damage, but eventually the rebels will go down. And Enigma does not pack that along with an additional attack through the front door, so that was just a bit of distraction that didn't really buy him anything. Stinger sight on the front line. SpamAlft has not done anything to punish the Veteran Academy or done anything to punish these 2 oil derricks in the corner. Enigma takes the observation post there on the high ground. Raptor comes forward, gets a Scud. Second Scud goes down. Crusader takes the brunt of that fire. 2 more Scuds there on the left side. And the Stinger Sight's being added on. I really like that choice by Enigma, just to give him a bit of a stronghold there in the middle of the map. Another Raptor comes in, A-10 Warthog as well, and the A-10s may find their mark finally. No, they almost land on the army, but the army retreats a little bit too slowly. The quad cannons cut down those Warthogs, but the Warthogs cut down those GLA forces. Quad cannons going to war with the sentries. Tomahawks getting in on it, and the appearance of the Mammoth tank from our USA player. Scud's launcher coming in. Raptors passing by as well, and the Avengers earning their keep as they zap rocket after rocket after rocket. SpamAlft making slow but meaningful progress through the middle of the map. The Scud launcher not time enough to reload as the Mammoth tanks close in. They don't actually find the kill. Finally, they almost get the Scud. The Tomahawks not helping in this battle, but the Comanche's able to swing in from the right side and capture that Scud launcher, cutting it down. One last Scud launcher gets the Mammoth tank, but not enough to take it down. SpamAlft will not be stopped. A fresh arms dealer going down from Enigma to try and cut off the, or try and create a closer reinforcement point for Enigma, but it just doesn't work out. The supply stash from Enigma in the middle of the map now getting targeted down. Meanwhile, rocket buggies making the appearance. It looks like they have the AP ammo upgrade, but will he actually be able to stop this entire army of tanks coming in from our USA player? Quad cannons get another kill, but more and more Mammoths are closing in on this GLA player. Enigma is gonna need a real something to get out of this one. This is a lot of firepower coming in from SpamAlft, with more reinforcements moving in from the north. The slow but steady crush is here. A couple of Avengers would be nice to help deal with those rocket buggies, but the sheer firepower of SpamAlft will not be stopped. Quad cannons making a heroic defense here. And actually, they are actually starting to cut through those pure numbers of Paladins and Mammoths. A couple of infantry reinforcements coming in as well. More reinforcements from SpamAlft. He hasn't completely broken Enigma just yet. The RPG troopers helping out enormously. A couple of them going fully heroic as well. And Enigma holds the line. Those RPG troopers doing unbelievable damage to those Mammoths. I cannot believe how quickly the Mammoths went down to just RPG troopers and quads. And that Veteran Academy lending quick, heroic status to a number of Enigma's troops, and still SpamAlft has not dealt with that. Oil derricks and the Veteran Academy still standing strong for Enigma, getting him so much value in this game. Fresh command center on the front line. I think he was going to try and push forward his build radius as well, just like we saw Enigma doing it. And, well, no Scud launchers, but it seems like Enigma has found a new recipe. Quad cannons and RPG troopers, mixing in some Marauder tanks as well, and that is going to be his ticket to victory. And honestly, considering how well they did against the Mammoth tanks, I guess that composition is a good thing to try out again. A couple of microwave tanks being mixed in. SpamAlft sneaks off 2 Comanches to the left side of the map. Meanwhile, the GLA force repositions itself. Once again, the anti-air might be the weakness of Enigma's force. He's got this expansion down here, and his Stinger Sight is nearby, but it's completely inept at actually stopping these Comanches. And, well, this other Stinger Sight will be able to take down the Comanches as they cross through the middle of the base. One of them might be able to escape. No, he stops! He starts attacking that supply truck. And the Comanche goes down. 4 microwave tanks all packed together. A good number of Paladins as well. And it looks like rocket troopers or something getting garrisoned inside of those Mammoths and adding an additional little turret on top. So apparently one of the benefits of the Mammoth being able to add in the infantry for some additional utility and firepower. Another supply center being established, trying to take the middle of the map as SpamAlft is looking for... big miss there on the Warthogs, but not too much of a surprise. Enigma saw that one coming and was able to retreat in time. And this is the new full-power Enigma army. He found the right composition, and now let's see if he can actually make it happen. I like the addition of the microwave tanks to try and counteract the RPG troopers. The Tomahawks maybe not doing as much damage as SpamAlft would have liked. In one moment, they were targeting quad cannons that were sort of mixed around his army, and so as a result, the Tomahawks were maybe doing a bit more friendly fire than damage to the enemy. But mixing in a couple of Tomahawks is nice. I don't know, I feel like the Raptors might have more utility in that case. They do seem to be able to secure the kills a little more than the Tomahawks do. 3 Scud launchers added on for Enigma. And, well, carpet bombing coming in, or perhaps the Moab, but neither one lands. The army survives, and those support powers can just be deleted out of the sky pretty easily by some anti-air defenses. An additional supply stash being established. Still almost 10 grand left in that location. Avengers targeting down that Civ structure. They really need to burn down this veteran academy. This army of SpamAlft needs to burn down that academy. Anthrax bomb? Yeah, Anthrax bomb right in the middle of the army. A big hit there. Every single Tomahawk pretty much goes down. And now the army forced into an engagement. That concave from Enigma is sick. This is full power GLA forces going to war. And it is a complete trashing of the superior American firepower. USA SpamAlft just gets crushed by a 1-2 punch that he was not ready for. That Anthrax bomb, absolutely perfectly placed, completely wrecks his forces and forces him into a poor engagement, an absolute slaughter, and an overwhelming amount of firepower as that one Tomahawk comes in, and that is it. Enigma barely holding on earlier on. Those RPG troopers with their heroic status finding the defense earlier, and that gave him the time to rebuild and come crushing through in one single attack, destroying SpamAlftF4. And that'll do it for this game, for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Cyber, signing out.